Hello everyone and welcome to my Hip Hop Gossip For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Lauryn sued by Pras for supposed misrepresentation and break of agreement. Lauryn has been sued by her Fugees bandmate Pras for supposed misrepresentation and break of agreement. Assortment previously announced news on the claim, which was documented in the southern area of New York on Tuesday. The charges incorporate misrepresentation, extortion in the affectation, break of trustee obligation, break of agreement, bookkeeping and refusal to allow a review of the Fugees' visit. Slope, in a proclamation, referred to the suit as outlandish and said it was loaded with bogus cases and unjustifiable assaults. Michelle asserted that Slope botched parts of their Drop 2023 visit, which included bombed endeavors at arrangement, advertising and planning. The suit said the run was really a hidden and mischievous endeavor to make a major score for herself. The suit added that the visit ought to have been an enormous business achievement, since the greater part of shows for the whole field-size visit were sold out ahead of time. Michelle guaranteed he got no cash from the shows on the grounds that the financial plan was so swollen with superfluous and, undoubtedly imaginary, expenses that it appeared to be intended to lose cash. Slope in the long run dropped the visit because of a serious vocal strain. Slope, accordingly, guaranteed that Pras was really overpaid for the visit. He was progressed excessive charge for the last visit and has neglected to reimburse significant credits stretched out without help from anyone else as a demonstration of altruism, she composed. Pras was given a $3 million advance for the visit, which he said he expected to pay his legitimate charges. Wyclef and myself conceded our full advances to ensure he had what he wanted and had the option to go. I covered the greater part of the visit costs, as most of the visit advance had gone to Pras. Different subtleties incorporate a case that Slope dismissed a proposal from Coachella for the gathering to perform for $5 million, because of envy over most likely being highlighted at the highest point of the celebration setup. The suit read, Slope's presumption was again shown when she singularly dismissed a $5 million deal to play Coachella. The explanation was that her inner self was wounded since the gathering almost certainly would get front and center attention over the Fugees the evening of their show. Slope never enlightened Pras regarding the proposition or that she was dismissed it. Pras possibly found out about it when it was past the point of no return, after Slope, in a shocking showcase of pride, inquired as to whether he would consent to play out a couple of Fugees melodies free of charge as the initial represent her child, YG Marley, who was scheduled to perform at a similar Coachella celebration. Michelle said he consented to the visit to some degree because of mounting legitimate expenses from different parts of his profession. When the visit was dropped, he asserts he didn't bring in cash, rather owing anywhere near $1 million in unrecovered costs since Slope was taking 40% of the visit assurances and visit net benefits off the top of for herself, leaving the excess 60% to be parted similarly between Slope, Pras and Wyclef. The claim additionally curiously alludes to Fugees' part Wyclef Jean as Lauryn Slope's previous spouse. A segment read, with the walls surrounding Michelle by mid-2023, Slope saw an open door and dove into purportedly make all the difference for Michelle, enrolling the accidental helper of her previous spouse, Wyclef, to assemble a Fugees visit for the final part of 2023 utilizing free unrecorded music show advertiser Mammoth Incorporated. However, Jean and Slope were sincerely involved at one point in the band's presence. There is no proof that they were at any point hitched. Some clearness and realities should be introduced. I've been quiet and pushing through in light of the fact that I comprehended that Pras was under pressure due to his fights in court and that this was maybe influencing his judgment, perspective and character. This unmerited claim by Pras is loaded with bogus cases and ridiculous assaults. It quite overlooks that he was progressed excessive charge for the last visit and has neglected to reimburse significant credits stretched out without help from anyone else as a demonstration of altruism. Last year's visit was assembled to praise the 25th commemoration of the collection The Misdirection of Lauryn Slope. It was being arranged regardless of whether the Fugees were involved. The visit was extended to consolidate the Fugees in light of the fact that I figured out that Pras was in a difficult situation and would require cash to help his legitimate guard. Pras was given a $3 million advance for the visit, which he said he expected to pay his legitimate expenses. Wyclef and myself conceded our full advances to ensure he had what he wanted and had the option to go. I covered a large portion of the visit costs, as most of the visit advance had gone to Pras. An arrangement was set up to get the reimbursement of the cash he was progressed. Pras has not taken care of the cash he was progressed, and is at present in break of this understanding. Since my visit, band, creation, and setup were at that point occurring, the Fugees set used this equivalent creation. I assimilated a large portion of the costs myself, delivered the show, set up the whole set with Wyclef's support for the Fugees and Wyclef's set. Pras essentially needed to appear and perform. Starting around the last visit, Pras said thanks to me for saving his life. I'm not in that frame of mind of kicking anybody, particularly when they're down, which is the reason I haven't answered date. It is totally demoralizing to see Pras here, my bandmate and somebody I considered a companion, yet this leads us to truth, which presumably ought to have been reality. Back in August, it was accounted for that Pras won't be able to retry the preliminary that viewed him to be liable of criminal connivance charges in spite of his lawyer's unconventional strategies, an adjudicator dominated. On August 30th, Judge Colleen Collar-Catelli denied the Fugees' parts movement for another preliminary, and gave a 77-page choice spreading out her thinking. Pras was sentenced back in April for his part in a bombed scheme to assist Malaysian financial specialist Joe Low and the Chinese government with accessing U.S. authorities, including Barack Obama and Donald Trump. The Ageto Wizard rapper was tracked down blameworthy on 10 counts, including connivance to cheat the U.S., witness altering and going about as an unregistered specialist of an unfamiliar government. He has to carry out upwards of 20 years in jail. Only a couple of months after conviction, Pras started pursuing resurrecting his case on grounds of his ex-lawyer obviously screwing up the absolute most significant piece of his protection by utilizing generative simulated intelligence to assemble an end proclamation. Lauryn Slope flames back at Pras' outlandish claim it is totally dampening. Lauryn Slope has answered the claim individual Fugees Pras recorded Tuesday in the southern locale of New York. The full rundown of cases incorporate extortion, misrepresentation in the prompting, break of trustee obligation, break of agreement, bookkeeping and refusal to allow a review of the Fugees' visit. In an extended explanation shipped off all hip-hop and later presented on Instagram, Slope referred to Pras' claim as ridiculous, and demanded it's loaded with misleading cases and outlandish assaults. Slope likewise said she was simply attempting to assist Pras with paying his mounting lawful expenses coming from his continuous government debasement case. As she made sense of, I've been quiet and pushing through in light of the fact that I comprehended that Pras was under pressure due to his fights in court and that this was maybe influencing his judgment, perspective and character. Slope said the claim outstandingly discards that Pras was progressed, excessive charge for the last visit, and has neglected to reimburse significant credits stretched out by Slope as a demonstration of generosity. She proceeded, last year's visit was assembled to praise the 25th commemoration of the collection The Misinformation of